Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today, how much does it cost to be a driving instructor? So, how much does it cost to be a driving instructor? This is a question that somebody asked on the back of the last video, somewhere on here, about becoming an approved driving instructor, and it was a good question actually. Before we go any further though, like, comment and subscribe. So subscribing is free. Yes, so I've got them all written down because they're all on the government website, and I'm going to put a list up, but I'll just read it to you. So first of all, to become an approved driving instructor, what you really need is a driving instructor teacher. A driving instructor. Yes. The first thing you actually do need though is a DBS check, so you can work with people under the age of 18. And actually, to hold your badge, then it's kind of a good idea that you haven't got a criminal record or a current criminal record, and you have no points and things like this, or you can get up to 6 points, or you get the idea that your license is good and you've had it for more than 3 years and you're over the age of 21. But you get a DBS check. That's £8.22. Then you do your theory test, the Approved Driving Instructor Test Part 1. That's £81. Then you get some training to pass the practical, because the practical driving test, which you have to do, of course, is part 2 of that process. And that you probably need 10 to 15 hours to understand what the requirements are for the driving test, because you haven't done one since you passed 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, whatever it is. And that one's 111. It's an extended test which takes an hour and 10 minutes, and sometimes it doesn't always follow the L test route, so sometimes it really does follow around. Now the next bit, the driving instruction test part 3, this is where you're sat there, you've got a pupil here and the examiner's in the back and they mark you. It's called the standard check instruction test. Yeah, that's also £111. Now technically you don't have to do practice teaching, and you don't even have to fill out the forms. Hurrah! Kind of. Yeah, it was ironic. What most people do between part 2 and part 3 is they do something else. They actually take on training, and they'll do 40 hours of instructor-led training. And also you do an additional 40 hours when you go on your pink badge. I've been quoted lots of different figures, all the way from train to drive quoting 1,999 up to the part 3. So when you get up to your part 3, onto your pink badge, then beyond your training on your pink badge, you'll charge you more. And this is what I found out. So the pink badge has a limit. Train with Drive has got a money back guarantee and all sorts of clauses and stuff. The A 2,549, LDC 2295. Most of these are franchised, because you're going to go onto that company once you come off your pink badge. But basically on your pink badge you'll be training to become a driving instructor, and they'll be taking money off you for franchise. So they'll be charging you probably up to £100 a week for you to drive one of their cars. And this is exactly what Pass and Go do as well. Now you can do this all by yourself without actually going onto your pink badge. As long as you've got your 40 hours of training, you can theoretically do your instructional test. However, it's very difficult. You'd only do that if you were previously a driving instructor and you could get a test. Now there is a pink badge limit of 6 months, but due to the backlog, which we're all aware of, some people have been on pink badges now for nearly 2 years. The maximum you can do is, once you've passed that theory, you've got 2 years to do your practical and you've got your instructional test. Once you pass your badge, because you get 3 chances at each one of them, once you pass, then you've got to pay £300 to go on the Approved Driving Instructor register, and you have to renew that every 4 years. So, how much is it? DBS, theory, practical, instructional test, register, the 40 hours of instructional ability test, which is you sat talking to somebody in a car or in a coffee shop or McDonald's or whatever else you want, The 40 hours of instructional ability, let's say it's £40 an hour, that's £1,600. Once you've then on your pink badge, you might get charged franchise. And actually a lot of these companies don't mention these, that you might get that. And I've quoted it as 5,411.22 as a rough guess. And I've put it all in the graphics around me here. And you're probably wondering, that's a hell of an amount. But not forgetting, you're only actually paying probably about £1,000 when you first start to get to that pink badge. Once you get on your pink badge, that company will then probably start charging you for franchise and going to see an instructor every single week for training. So, a lot of money really. I got sponsored for a bit of it, and once I got on my pink badge I kind of didn't care that I was spending £100 a week, because that was kind of like 3 hours of driving. So it was kind of like, oh yeah, I've got to drive for 3 hours and that 3 hours will disappear. So if you're doing like 20 hours a week, you kind of don't really care. You can move the training around what you're doing, and you can go anywhere you want. Now, I'm taking a training. As I said on the video, I'm taking a training. So what happens there is that I probably won't be charging that person to get on their pink badge. They're paying the fees for all of the other stuff, but I won't be I won't be getting them, I won't be taking money off them to get on that badge. And the reason for that is because once you get on that pink badge, then we'll be effectively sharing work, and she'll be still coming back to us, and we'll effectively be working as the same sort of team. I'm not going to ask for any money off them. I don't see the point in it. I believe that you can do this for free, almost, apart from potentially £611.22, of which you're only going to pay about kind of £200 to get to a driving to be on your pink badge. It is a little bit complicated. I've put all of the graphics on the screen so you can read through it. But yeah. Storm Anne is here, very bad. I don't know whether sometimes some instructors cancel lessons when the storm comes. As you can see, it's lashing around me and this car's just pulled out. It's horrible. Yeah, just be careful where you're driving, be careful with the puddles, be careful what you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.